So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars. Again, LEGO Star Wars. Why not? Because I've got a ton of it now. The E-Wing versus Shin Hatis Starfighter. This is a larger set. I believe it retails for around $89 American, and that would be 90 some Canadian. I got it for 96. Actually, I think it's 111 Canadian regular, something like that. It's kind of pricey. Or no, you know what? Screw it. Who cares about the price? It's a little bit expensive. It's a larger set. It has 1,000 and so many pieces. 1,056 pieces to be exact. I have the box next to me. It includes 5 minifigures and 2 vehicles, which are vehicles from the Ahsoka series. Because why not? You can see one of the figures pretty plainly right here. Morgan Elsbeth down there, just kind of the extra one. Technically, there's 2 extras, but I figured out you can actually stick another minifigure in that, so we'll see that in a minute. But as far as it goes, I just wanted to show both of them on screen first. Yeah, they take up a lot of space. They're actually really large ships, if I'm being honest. So we're going to take a look at Shin Hati's Starfighter first before we take the E-Wing, because if I'm being honest, the E-Wing is just 10 times better. Shin Hati's Starfighter is certainly a vehicle. It appeared. It's not even her Starfighter, because I'm pretty sure there was a multiple in the show. She just so happened to pilot one. It is pretty good, I guess. It's kind of one of those vehicles where you just kind of build wings, and they're just tiles and whatever, and it's kind of weird, and you just keep going with it. It has some shooters on it, 2 on each side. It's off screen, but it has the typical mechanism that if you own any LEGO Star Wars with stud shooters, you know what I'm talking about. You flick that little thing and the stud goes flying. One thing that kind of bothers me, this one empty stud, probably could put something on it if I'm being honest, but it is supposed to be there. It does look interesting. You have this whole front end here with this whole like turbine. Can't really see it. Enhance. Trying to get the light on it. There we are. It is actually printed, which is pretty neat. That's pretty good. And I mean, as far as it goes, yellow, kind of a red color. Pretty good. You can open up the back, and there's some storage for Shin Hati's lightsaber. The cockpit for Shin Hati herself is pretty easy to access. It's just your typical opening cockpit. Nothing too crazy there. Though, for some reason, this is a sticker. Why is the console a sticker? I don't know. This here is stickers as well. Definitely tell, because the red is completely different on these stickers comparatively to the rest of the ship. This is actually pretty close. The other thing you have is storage in the front here. I just put Balin's skull in there. Why? I don't know. He fits. Apparently minifigures do fit in this little cubbyhole perfectly, along with his accessories, because it's lightsaber, so it breaks into 2. And this thing stands up pretty good. I'm just gonna put his lightsaber together for later, if I'm being honest. That's what we're doing. I put it backwards. My bad. But you do have this little compartment, which again, big enough for a minifig, which is really interesting. But under that, there's actually another compartment. I don't know why they put a second compartment in the compartment, but I've just put all of the stud shooters parts in there. Fits perfectly. No issues. And you can put this on, pegs on up the front. Works perfectly, and it's just kind of uninteresting, if I'm being honest. The ship's a ship, you know, it's woo. It has great whooshability, though. You could fly this thing around forever. You could also, if you moved this peg, probably put a minifig back here as well, but I think it's more fun to just throw them up here in the middle. It's kind of weird, honestly. But that's Shin Hati's Starfighter. Not really too much to say about it. I mean, it's there, it's cool, it's certainly something. Next up is the New Republic E-Wing, which is, it's an E-Wing. It's a little bit taller. It actually has landing gear, which it can fold away. Yes, you can just simply fold this one up, and these ones here just fold up in the back as well. You get this very nice E-Wing, white and blue, looks quite nice and clean. It has a little astromech up there, which is an entire astromech, and it actually slots in. You can't really see that in there, but there's just 2 jumpers down there, and that's just what the astromech, who has no name other than New Republic Astromech. I've since called him, and I'm probably not the first to do it, 1K 3 Wait a minute. Yeah, 1K3A. And yeah, if you get the numbers there, you probably understand what I'm spelling. It's IKEA. Because why not? He's just yellow and blue. That's why we're calling him IKEA. But it's pretty good. I did lose one of the stud shooter missiles. It just accidentally shot earlier when I was kind of just like holding it. I was like, uh-oh, oops. The building technique on this thing's pretty crazy because the whole back end is like Technic for a while. And then you start building the wing and it's just like, whoa. Just kind of comes in and it's kind of crazy, honestly, how they get the like angle of the wing. It's really fun. And it's more interesting than Shin Hatis. Shin Hatis Starfighter is a really basic build, if I'm being honest. This thing does obviously have a cockpit as well, which we have our pilot in here being Captain Porter. He has a little chair that often comes off with him because it's removable and doesn't peg in like Shin Hatis little parts do. And, well, you have stud shooter bar. You got the stud shooters down here. Just going to take one out for, you know, just to put one in the side cannon because it's missing. Ta-da! It's in there now. Again, stud shooters similar to Shin Hatis. You just press them down. That's all you do. The cockpit here does not have a stickered plate this time. It actually is printed on this one, but, you know, there's still stickers on it. There's a couple crooked ones like this one right here. And also this one here, which is, yeah, that one's actually really off-centered, which I hate. But that is the E-Wing. I think it's pretty good. It's a really fun build, and it looks really good, if I'm being honest. Next up are the minifigures, which are minifigures, to say the least. We're going to start with the droid here, which, yeah, the New Republic Astromech is pretty nice, or IKEA, or 1K3A. He is just pretty cool, I guess. He has no printing on the back. The only one who gets that's R2, apparently. And, I mean, he looks interesting. His head's a little odd, though. It's not your typical. It's kind of like a different Astromech type of head, which is neat. I'm not sure if he's a little misprinted or not with that. It's a little off-centered, but chest looks good, I guess. That main body area, it looks nice. I mean, it's just kind of cool to have a little astromech. You don't mind getting different astromechs. Like, it's kind of just something nice. You know, just something nice to have. The next minifigure up is Captain Porter. He showed up in one scene along with the E-Wing, which was on Lothal. Yeah, I don't know why he's here, but he looks pretty neat nonetheless. He is just kind of generic. I mean, this body does exist elsewhere. It does also come with Captain Beta in the Ghost set. So if you do own that, it's the exact same body. The only difference is the head and this very nice helmet, which is molded in this nice dark blue, and I actually quite like the look of it. The visor is very nicely printed there with the strap as well, but you can rotate it around and get a generic face, which ultimately in this form, I mean, I'd probably a way to put the visor up on those helmets, but he does come with an alt hairpiece as well to just make him a guy. He's certainly a guy. I don't know what's up with this guy. He's just kind of a character, if I'm being honest. He's a guy in Star Wars who's named and said like 3 words and then disappeared, most likely. So, yeah, I don't remember what he did, but he looks cool enough. I actually just really like the helmet. That's the coolest aspect. Next up, Morgan Elsbeth. Not the weirdest figure in the set. Also one of the few characters in the whole Ahsoka line of LEGO toys to have 2 minifigures, other than Ahsoka herself, who has her late version from the show and her early version. You have this Morgan Elsbeth, who has the kind of skirt piece, or the dress. She looks pretty good, though, otherwise, maybe, I don't know. She has front printing and back printing, but that's about it. Dual-sided face. She's angry on the other side. She has her little, like, Night Sister tattoo up on her forehead. Kind of a meh figure. The other one's a little bit better, in my opinion, but even that one's not too good, because it suffers the same fate. I'm pretty sure it has the same chest piece, except it just has black legs, and then the head's a little bit different. That's it. With the other one, we'll take a look at that someday. Next up, though, we have Shin Hati, who looks pretty good. This is her only set she appears in. She, again, doesn't have a ton of printing. Chest, the back, the arms are picked out in silver, which is nice. and her legs have a bit of printing. But other than that, pretty basic. Her face is there, and then you turn around and she's angry. Hairpiece is a little odd, honestly. I feel like this is kind of close, but not exact. I get what you're going for, and I think I can tell who it is, obviously, but it's a little interesting. They also just gave them red lightsabers. I really hate how they're just red. They looked orange all the time, and they're orange-ish, and they were just red, I guess, the whole time. And then we have Balin's skull, R.I.P. I'm forgetting the actor's name, which is really tragic, but R.I.P. I don't know if I can remember his name. I just can't. But Balin here, who was very nicely played by the actor, I must say. Very good performance. One of the cooler characters from the show. Looks really awesome. Same thing, though. Has some metallic arms going, and then the rest of it's painted, or not painted, printed with the back, front, and the legs. It's similar looking to Shin Hati. Same type of armor and everything like that, but the black, I think, looks a little cooler than the kind of tan. His hair's a little off, though. Like, his hair's gray, but the beard's white. It's just kind of there. It's kind of this kind of meh face, and then he has this very angry-looking face. But one thing I feel like he's missing, Shin Hati is fine without the cape, but I think he needed that cape. That was when he looked his coolest. When he had that cape on, he looked amazing with the cape. He looked really cool. But that would be your 5 minifigures for this set, which is a pretty good selection. I mean, they're all exclusive at this point in time, so there's not really any issue with that. The only one who's kind of even close to not being is Morgan Elsbeth, who's definitely the worst out of the bunch. It's not even close. Literally the worst one. So overall, how do I feel about this set? I think it's a pretty good set, honestly. There definitely is some favoritism towards the E-Wing, though, comparatively to Shin Hati's Starfighter. The E-Wing is just miles ahead and genuinely could have been its own. I mean, both of these could have been their own sets on their own. But I think more people would opt towards this E-Wing. It just looks great, honestly. The build is awesome. It is a really fun build. This, on the other hand, I do like the ship's design, but the build is just kind of boring. The most interesting is building this kind of front turbine, in my opinion. The rest of it kind of goes exactly how you think it's going to go. You're basically building a rectangle and then putting some slopes on it. And then you just put some tiles on the wings, and that's what you do. It's pretty much all there is to it. It's just one of those that it's like you can predict everything. It's just going to double side. It's so easy to predict how the thing goes. But this over here was actually interesting. I think the E-Wing is very good. And I think the set on a sales price is worth it just for the E-Wing, honestly. This set, this of the Shin Hati Starfighter is fine. The minifigs, they're nice. I mean, it is the only way to get Shin Hati and Balin's skull, I guess. But, I mean, they're probably the biggest selling point minifig-wise, because nobody cares about Captain Porter or IKEA back there, or regular Morgan Elsbeth, because who cares about Morgan Elsbeth? Honestly, this isn't even the cool one. She doesn't come with anything. She's just there. She is literally just in the set because she's in the show and she's one of the main antagonists. And they basically said, you know what? I guess we have to put her in somehow, don't we? So they just threw her in this one because it involved a scene kind of where she was at. She has no interaction with these sets. Neither does Balin, really, but at least you can shove him in the little part down there just to store him, honestly. That's just where I store the figure at. I just store him in there. But that is basically it for this review. This has been my review of the E-Wing versus Shin Hati Starfighter. This has been Elite signing out.